This ward spread is not good. The vision that you're covering overlaps really hard. So the ward on the other side of the wall, that one is you put that down to see if they enter the river, right? And then the ward in the middle, I think it's in pixel, is useless because you know that they entered through the river or they're like on that side. Like you either want the pixel or the outer. Honestly, the outer wall one is probably the one that you want, but warding pixel here is pretty useless because you don't really need to know.
Right, I see your point. Actually, I think what I was doing here is I was trying to get deep wards, but it's been a while and I don't see where anyone is. So I do that one deep ward, and then I'm just trying to like drop a ward on Baron and
Yeah.
recall for more wards. Right, so I'm just thinking I don't want to go deep now because I don't see where anyone is. So I'll just drop one ward here and I'm gonna recall.
Right,
But I'm
right.
thinking, well, I'm recalling, might as well use my last ward. I don't know if that's correct, but
I think it's fine thinking about like, oh, like I'm gonna recall anyway, so I just want to throw down all my words. But I think the placement of your words are not good. So like,
it's actually I learned some. That's actually something I learned from watching you.
yeah, like
I used to never do that, but now I noticed that you tend to do it while recalling. You just drop words, and I'm like, oh my god, that makes so much sense.
it's fine to do it. It's just like the word spread at Baron just isn't covering a lot. You could go deep into the wall or the bush next to blue because you know that Kai'Sa's bot, Zed was mid, Gwen is top. It's pretty deep, but you can take the Hex Gate out. But even then, like you'll have a timing for it. And because you know that there was a big fight at Dragon and everyone kind of died, you can find your way into it. And then, so that way, once you have deep wards, you'll know if the enemy entered the river. So you don't need a ward on Baron. Does that make sense? Like the ward on Baron it's not as useful as you think because
I see what you mean because I will see them if they're doing it.
Yeah, like you'll see them you'll see that they're going to be entering the river area, so then you'll know like, oh, okay, well, you don't need to know if they're gonna jump directly on Baron because if they do, like you're gonna try to be like going to see if Baron is being taken or not. So like you don't need that ward on Baron or on Pixel because you'll just know that they're in around the river. What would you say is like your biggest weakness and what would you say is your biggest strengths? Are your biggest strengths?
I often can win lane, but then I can't really win game.
Okay.
I feel I might be kind of losing track of what's happening in team fights, especially. Like I'm not really seeing things around me properly.
Okay.
Maybe engaging at the wrong times, not peeling enough. I think like sometimes I just tunnel vision and I try to engage on the enemy and then I kind of leave my ADC behind. I've been trying to work on that.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. I feel like that's like a pretty common issue with supports. It's that like you see an opportunity and it's like you kind of just take it without really thinking too much.
Yeah. Another thing I would like to look at is kind of how to itemize. I feel like I'm a bit confused with what to get.
What are you thinking when you're drafting? In this spot specifically?
Well, here I'm thinking I feel like playing Nautilus, so I'm gonna lock Nautilus. And also that I want to I want to kind of one trick something so I can climb and master the champion. As for I mostly look at I must look at the enemy team trying to think about what I'm going to build. Like I'm seeing Zed Kai'Sa, I'm thinking, maybe I buy steel caps for this game. They don't have too much CC yet, so something like that. Just trying to think about my runes and about the build mostly.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fair. If itemization is one of your biggest struggles, then you should definitely be thinking about what you should be building as you're playing.
So like as soon as I see all the champions, I just go through runes and trying to figure out what I'm doing here. So you think I should go unflinching instead of Font of Life?
It's probably unflinching here. Or actually Font. I'm actually curious. I don't know like how much value you would get from Font, but based on your team, like you have 3 auto attack based champions. So like Font might be good, but at the same time, like they have a lot of slows on their team, so unflinching can also be a lot of value.
I swapped to 2 magic resistance there. Do you think that's good?
It's probably fine. They're pretty heavy MR, and Kai'Sa does AP damage, and you're playing against Lux
I was
too,
thinking mostly for Lux and Kai'Sa, but I like Lux tends to poke me down, so that's why I like the extra.
Yeah. No, that's fine. And then as you're loading in, how are you thinking this lane is going to go?
I'm mostly thinking I'm trying to hang back the first level. I probably start W, try to shield the poke, go for a level 2 engage.
Okay, yeah. Starting W, I think you could start Q just in Well, honestly, you could probably just hover your abilities, but you
Yeah.
probably start Q, and then if you see an opportunity, you can like go
Yeah,
in.
I kind of alternate between the two. Sometimes I start W, sometimes I start Q. I try to invade as Nautilus as well quite a lot.
That's fine. Ooh, okay. So you want to invade, you're pinging. Generally, if you're invading, you want to go through lane and then through try. The reason why like this invade isn't good is because they can see you mid, and then also it's yeah,
Yeah.
like right there.
Okay.
And yeah, if you go through try, it's a lot harder for them to see you. Oh shit, damn, you fucking flashing it, okay. That was a crazy flash. That
Yeah, I was thinking. I feel like my passive is very strong, but if it wasn't Gragas, it would have worked a bit better.
yeah, I need to be mindful of level one, just like what abilities they can go because yeah, now you're just down a flash, which sucks because this your bot lane is like it should be a very like high kill pressure lane because if you just hook anyone, they die. It's fine.
Also, do you think the Dematerializer is good here? Because I never know. Like,
Yeah,
do I
yeah,
go
yeah. I think
Biscuits? Do I go
DMAT's good
Demat?
here. No, I think DMAT's good against engage range support and you're playing melee. Yeah, level one you can't really do too much. Okay, just kidding. Okay, damn, that was good hook. You can probably start pushing for level 2 here since Kai'Sa's really low. Yeah, okay, good, good. I like that you're in this bush. You're putting a lot of pressure. Ooh, but yeah, there's no reason for you to walk back this far for wait, pause the replay, pause the replay. I like that you were very forward there. And then you kind of, I think walking back to the middle bush is fine, but walking back all the way to that bush, you're giving a lot of space to the enemy. What is your like thought process of the positioning?
I feel like if I'm too far forward, I tend to get poked down a bit.
Yeah.
So that's why I was thinking, and I was waiting probably for the minion wave to get thinned out a bit as well before I look for an engage.
Okay.
But you can see me starting to charge Hex Flash here, so I'm like, yeah, I'm going in.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So bot lane, did bot lane leash? I forget.
Yes.
Or like the enemy bot lane.
Yes.
Okay, so then if the enemy bot lane leashed,
I think at least. Hold on, I can like rewind, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they're not in lane, and here they pop, but I think they pop through Tribush.
Okay, yeah, yeah. So
yeah.
This is really important to remember. If the enemy bot lane leashed, that means they started red. And basic jungle knowledge, the jungler is gonna clear up, right? So
yep.
You're most likely not gonna get ganked here, but do you think about those things as you're playing?
I try to sometimes. I mostly think about the like trying to ward if we're pushed in. Not sure how much I think about that though.
Yeah, so that's really important there. Like, let's say their bot lane started, they didn't leash, and then the jungler was pathing down. If the jungler could be at the bot bush right at the time you were hex flashing, because at the third wave, usually on siege wave, the jungler is going to be level 3 and they can look for a gank. So you want to be mindful about those things.
Okay.
Okay. Also,
so it's the first cannon wave, is it?
Yeah, it's the first cannon wave around there. So Gragas is mid. He also has red buff. That means he didn't do blue. That's also another tip. A really important tip is like looking. If you see the jungler, like left click them and then look at their buffs. If you see that their buff is running out, if they have 2 buffs, the buff that runs out first is the side that they started. So that's also very important.
I forget to do that. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, like you can pretty much dodge a lot of gank timers because you'll know like, oh, okay, well, let's say Gragas had blue and red there and his red's running out. That means he cleared his top side jungle and then he's probably going to be bot side soon. So damn, you're getting these hooks, but your AD carry is just not following up.
I think he just flashed in.
Feels bad. Maybe you should ping a bit more like
Yeah.
as you're going, because I feel like you're getting good engages, but your AD carry isn't like moving up to position for them. Flash. Okay, nice. Nice. Okay, so you're actually playing lane really well. You're just like playing the bushes, hex flashing, and in this matchup it's really easy since it's double ranged, but good stuff. Now you're pushing in the wave.
And yeah, this is, I feel, how usually the lane goes. Like, I'm very aggressive support player. But I don't always win with this. Like, I can win lane, but then maybe my mid game is a bit off.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
That's where the problem could be.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see where you start fumbling, but right now, really good. Good back timer. Okay, personally here, I would go for boots and not cloth and a ruby, just because you have a lot of prio in this lane. They have to respect you, especially after the kill. If you have boots, you can walk up and down the river. And then also I would like look mid here. I don't think you should go straight to lane because this wave is gonna bounce back to you. So MF can safe farmly safe. Instead, I would walk through the jungle and then like hover. Like let's say you were in. Okay, I guess you get the kill. He gets the kill, so it doesn't matter. But just for like the future, I would take the just like walking through the jungle, and then if there is a potential moment where you can help mid, then you could be there instead of like going through lane. Okay, nice. Nice flash. Okay, there. Good read. You're living. Okay, nice.
I have no idea how I lived there.
Yeah, that was actually nuts. Good read, but you don't have to flash there. If you hook, you can walk and then auto in front of him instead of flashing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I have enough time to do that?
You have enough time to do that, yeah. Because
okay.
When he's airborne and rooted, you have the spacing to just walk in front. You're helping with dragon. Ooh, okay, so here... I don't think you could go mid here. You're kind of fucking over Misfortune if you go mid here.
Did the wave bounce?
Yeah, the wave bounced. So the wave is pushing away. Oh yeah, and then you die here. Yeah, so there, like you can't go, like as good as it looked mid, you can't go there because the wave is gonna be bouncing away from Misfortune here. And then you dying just makes it even worse. I think like the enemy is just shoving it, but in like higher ELOs, they would definitely zone MF off. The reason,
yeah, I get that.
Yeah, like the reason why you were able to go to dragon was because the wave was pushing towards you, right? And so MF can sit under tower, but eventually it's gonna bounce. So you can't. Yeah, that was like an incorrect timer. Yeah, I think when you are roaming mid or just around the jungle, you should look at your wave. So what is your goal right now? What are you thinking at this point of the game?
I'm thinking MF wants to back. I'm probably gonna just try to roam somewhere.
Yeah.
I could also look for Herald, but I don't know if I'm thinking about it this game, like at this moment.
Okay. Yeah, ideally you'd want to push that in, but it's a little hard.
No.
There's
nothing happening, so I guess I just walk back.
Yeah.
Oh, here I think I should have actually stayed and frozen the wave, possibly, because I'm kind of late to it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna lose it.
It's fine. I think hovering mid there is also okay, just in case something happened and you could back up Fizz. But yeah, I'd probably shove this wave too.
Why?
Just because I would probably want to take it back because I'm on 700 gold.
I think I did it because I saw Luke's mid, so I'm kind of just like trying to zone Kaisa here, and maybe go for a dive if Lux is still mid.
Yeah. You see Gragas spot. Yeah, honestly, I'd probably recall. There's a lot of waiting time in between the wave pushing back because you guys pushed it into the tower and then it's gonna set to neutral. And see, you're kind of just like walking around right now. I would have taken the time to reset because you have a lot of gold, and you also know that Gragas is bot side since you saw him on Raptors. So you probably don't want to take. Yeah, Yeah, that makes sense. Like, did you saw Gragas at Raptors, right? Or did you? Yeah. So if
yeah, I did.
Yeah, so there, like, you don't want to make a play since you know that Gragas is gonna be bot side and the wave is going back to neutral. So you can just have it push towards you if you're kind of just like giving the wave in, and there you're kind of just like walking around in the river. So instead, like, I would have taken the time to recall there, and then you would have came back and kind of dodged the time that Gragas could have actually done anything.
Okay. Yeah, I see your point.
Yeah.
Normally when I see jungler bot lane, I think I made this mistake here, and I tend to do that a lot where I'm trying to get a ward in.
Yeah, before
but
he comes, but he's already there.
Yeah, he's over there.
Yeah.
And I see them mid now, so I just ping for a push.
Yeah, the thing with warding is that you can kind of wards are how do I describe this? I can see why you would want to ward because you're like, oh, I know that Gragas is somewhere bot lane, but because you already know that he's bot side, you don't need to know exactly where he is. You just have to like avoid the gig. So warding isn't as useful. Okay, you take the gold here. You're on a lot of gold, 1.3k.
I can get a BF sword.
Yeah, BF sword Nautilus. Pretty strong this patch. So do you always go your mythic first?
Generally, yes. Sometimes I like to get boots. I think I just haven't realized I'm not on boots yet. Yeah, I changed to lockhead.
Okay.
I don't know if that was a good idea. I'm always confused about builds.
Yeah.
But I see, I think Locks mostly and like Gragas. And for Zed, I just want to protect MF, I guess, against Zed, so I get Lockhead.
Yeah, Lockhead is fine here. Okay. I think on engage supports, boots is actually really, really useful early, just because it gives you more, you have more movement around the map, and it lets you make more plays early. Like I think enchanters, you should always be rushing your mythic, but for engage supports, boots, even rushing like tier 2 is like super strong. Okay, so Lux you see Lux top.
Yep.
That's Lux
top. I'm pinging for a dive.
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure if that's correct.
No, that's correct.
Okay. And
Gragas is here. Oh man, that's rough.
So you think the play was correct even though I didn't see Gragas?
It's so weird to see. It's so weird that Lux is top and Gragas isn't. Personally, I think I would have sent it, but I mean, you had wards, so maybe you ward try there and then you go for the dive, because I think you had the time to do it. Go back.
I think I just I see Lux, so I'm tunnel visioning on this. But yeah, like while she's pushing, I should totally just go for it.
Yeah, like there's like a little moment before you could let like some minions die, right? And then like if you were to try here, you can see Gragas. Yeah, and then you wouldn't have Dove. So definitely that was the play. But I think it's good that you're proactive in punishing like when the enemy support isn't there. So I think that's good, but you just need that extra step of warding if you have the chance.
Okay.
And then I think Viego also took Dragon. Okay, so now pause here. So what do you think, what is your mindset at this point in the game? I would say like we're transitioning into the mid game. Dragon's not up. What is your thought process? Like you're pathing bot side, but why?
Yeah, I don't really see a point in going bot side. Now that I think about it, I'm mostly thinking Herald is gonna spawn soon.
Okay.
So I should probably go that direction. I do try to think about what objectives are there. If there's a dragon, I generally go for the dragon. If there's a herald, I try to go for the herald, but I prioritize dragon over herald. I'm not sure if that's correct.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
And then if there's no objectives, I kind of just ward around our jungle and try to hang back and look for farm, I guess. I look for either herald or I guess turrets as well. Like if we're far ahead, I like to get my AD into the lane and like top lane and get a turret.
Okay. Yeah, so that's I can sort of see why you kind of struggle with winning lane and then like kind of not being able to transition that lead. The best way of winning in League is to push your win conditions further. So like that changes every game. Sometimes it's your AD carry, sometimes it's your top, sometimes it's your jungle, sometimes it's your mid laner. And you shouldn't here, like you're kind of like running down blind, which is not good because there is always going to be a play that you can set up for. Like I said, it's always different based on the game, but generally you want to play around people who's winning, and you want to basically look at your minion wave and see like where it's going to end up being. So here, like if I was coming out of base in this situation, I would probably go top side because Herald's coming up. There's no reason to go to bot side because Viego just cleared the dragon, and then also mid lane is going to push out, and we don't have a tower mid, so it's going to be pretty dangerous for MF to walk up alone. Personally, I would like get vision of like the bush mid side, the top side bush in mid. I'd put a pink there, and then like try to make my way to Herald. But I want to see how you play this out.
Yeah, I see that. I'm just kind of walking around. I don't know what I'm doing. Probably looking to clear vision and give wards. Maybe play around Viego. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm always kind of confused at this point of the game as to what I should be doing. I see there's a play, but I don't like it. I'm like, I hate when people are fighting in jungle randomly without any vision.
Yeah.
And I'm just like pinking him away.
Yeah. So like you're warding bot side, but for what? You know, like your Viego's really fed. Wait, go back. Can you pause it on the scoreboard? I want to see like.
I think I just ward there because like Viego is around there, so it's like I'm warding for him.
Yeah, no. It's okay, pause right there. You have a lot to work with. You have so many options because all your lanes pretty much won, right? And some games you could work off any lane, just whoever's strong, and everyone's strong in this lobby. But some games when you're losing, there's only one lane winning. You have to like play for that lane. And like these wards don't make sense at all, right? Since Viego is I think he was doing Krug's bot side or something, but he's pathing up now, and now you have 2 wards dedicated to their bot side, but nothing's really going to happen there.
Yeah, no, I'm out of wards. Yeah, I've been running into this problem a lot where I waste my wards.
Yeah, hit pause real quick. Okay, also walking up to that pink ward is very illegal. Like if you're going to walk up to that pink ward, you want to hit the vision cone first, because otherwise like the enemy could ambush you there. If like you don't know where anyone is on the map, right? For the future, like hit the vision cone first and then clear the pink, so you know like.
Yeah, that's definitely something that gets me killed often. Like I remember this situation. It tends to happen where I'm like, I just walk around here trying to set up vision and I die.
You just die, yeah.
So when is a good time to like set up vision like that?
Oh geez, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Oh wait, pause. Sorry, I could not process that fight because I was thinking, when is the best time to set up vision for that fight?
Like not that fight specifically, but kind of what are some pointers I should be looking at? Because I feel I often cannot set up a vision because there's like I cannot see anything. I don't know where anyone is, so I don't want to face check. Or I try to force it and I die.
Right. So I'm trying to remember, when you were walking out of base and when you went bot, did we kill them and then reset?
I think we did. Oh no, that was the
we
failed dive.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the failed dive.
But okay, Gragas.
And then Raisa and Gragas died, but like 3 on our team were dead as well.
Okay, yeah. So like you need to think like when you die there, right? You need to think like, oh, who is on the map, and can I move to Herald first and ward without me dying? So that's why it's really important to have direction when you're coming out of base, because if you are keeping very tight death timers and walking straight to objectives, you can pretty much throw down wards before like the enemy is able to get up and maybe just like wait for you and sit in a bush. I think here specifically, I guess the way I would play it is I would be at Herald first, and I would probably put the ward where the pink is. And if I saw that it was pinked, I would hit the vision cone, and then wait to see if the enemy is around there. If I do see enemies, I'll just back off and not go for the pink because I'll just probably die. But if not, I'll just clear the ward.
Okay, do you feel it's a good ward to place there where the pink ward?
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Normally, I try to.
I think if
you're taking ward over the wall here, like the ward that hits Grump and blue buff at the same time.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. Like that's a good ward to have, but it's like you don't know if they're in the ward that the pink is in. So like if you just walk straight in, then you just die. So you have to like ward that bush first to get that ward, unless you have information on where the enemy is.
I guess another good thing to do, which is something I've been trying to do, let me know if you think that is correct. When I don't really have vision and there's an objective coming up, I like to ward with like shallow wards, put some that are safe and then recall to replenish my wards, and then try to push them deeper.
Yeah, that's kind of like how you're supposed to take vision. I guess the best way of taking over vision when you have no vision at all is you go through a lane and let the minions push forward, and then you walk with your team to the entrance of the jungle. As opposed to going through your own jungle, just because in your own jungle, there's so many more bushes that you have to...
Wait, can you say that again? I think I missed that.
Yeah, so...
Go through lane?
Yeah, so the easiest way of taking control of the jungle if it's completely empty is going through a lane, and you want to push the lane up and then enter through the river through lane, just because there's a lot less bushes that you have to worry about as opposed to just walking through your jungle, because in the jungle there's so many bushes and there's so many potential places for them to hide that when you are putting your shallow wards, it would take you probably 6 wards to maybe even enter the river. But if you go through the lane, then it's a lot easier because there's less bushes, and then the minions can also give you more vision of what's ahead. Does that make sense?
Okay, I see that.
Yeah.
I see your point.
Yeah, and then also you should be walking with your teammates too. If your team can't back you up when you're warding, it's not your problem that you can't ward. It's your team's problem.
Right. That is something I've been flamed for a lot.
Yeah.
Where someone walks into no vision and then they spam ping me "Where's your wards? You have 4 wards.
Yeah.
Why are you not placing them?"
It's a pretty common issue that a lot of support players get through. That's why I feel like a big problem with support players is that they always tend to ward while dying, because if they don't, then their team's going to flame them. But it's worse that you die. So it's this loop,
I've definitely been in that problem many times.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. So as long as you just keep in mind that just ignore your team for flaming you because they're stupid. Just it's a team thing. So
yeah, I actually play with chat muted all the time now. Ever since they implemented feature, I'm this is amazing.
Yeah,
I'm never going back.
Well played.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Shall we keep going?
Go ahead. Yep.
That was an interesting. I think I hook here, trying to hook the blue buff. Actually, I'm trying to steal it, which is probably just way too greedy.
Yeah. Okay. So pause it again. I know you talked about you feel like you play team fights really badly, but right before you hook, look at where your team is. Your team is just so far away from you, and I know you want the blue buff, but your team can't follow up on anything you do. So they're just so far away. Getting a hook here is just it's not worth trying to steal this blue buff because you're taking a losing fight. I don't know if you win or lose it, but this is not a good fight for you guys because your team is just too far away. Basically have the winning position for Herald because they have to come into you, but because you go for this, you're in a losing position. So yeah, you can play now.
I think this is what I need to do. Kind of look at minimap before I go for an engage.
Yeah.
I think they still win this.
Yeah, it's
kind of ridiculous.
It works out because your team is really fed, so
yeah, but it was the wrong play.
Yeah, you don't want to take 1-for-1s ever if you're in the winning position, right? Because it's just there's no reason for it to be a 1-for-1. You have the winning position at Herald. They can't walk in. If they walk in, your team is there to back you up, and you have maybe not a lot of vision around the Herald. You would have had vision around the Herald if you didn't put your wards bot, but yeah. Okay, so pause here. Okay, so now same kind of deal. Where exactly are you going? What are you thinking as you're walking down mid lane here?
Well, as I was walking, I remember this because I was thinking, what boots do I buy? And that's why I'm looking at the force and looking at the enemy.
Okay,
what am I buying?
Uh-huh.
Do I buy Mercs? They don't really have too much CC, but there's Lux, and I'm
No, that's funny as fuck, but you should be thinking of what you're buying as you're recalling, and you should be thinking about where to go after you're out of base,
Yeah.
Or as you're
if I'm not sure where to go, I just go mid because it's close to everything.
Uh-huh.
But I definitely should be pathing to Herald again.
Viego's low, Fizz is low. Yeah, you could probably hover Jax here just because he's the most pushed up. MF is going to be pushing out bot, but you could ward for Jax here. Here, hit pause it. So you see Gwen bot, Zed mid, and Kaisa top. So that means you could potentially run into their jungler and Lux. Who is their jungler? Or is Zed their jungler?
Gragas.
Okay. Yeah, you want to be mindful of like where everyone is, kind of like as you're walking around, because you don't have like you don't have to micro anything, and so like just keep tabs. Like, okay, Gwen is bot, Zed is mid, Kai'Sa's top. I know that Lux and Gragas could be top, they could be bot, but just be very mindful of where the enemy could be during this stage of the game.
So, I know. So I used to play a lot of top lane.
Okay.
And I used to do a lot of split pushing myself.
Yeah.
And what I find very annoying is when my team is following me.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So that's why I don't try to hover top laners like at all. I don't think I have ever been hovering top laners. I normally just try to ping my team to like push mid or something and just let them do their own thing.
I don't think that's a good like mindset to have. You could hover them. You don't have to like sit in a lane and like get EXP. But like here, if I was in your position, I'd probably be going to Jax and trying to ward. I would like specifically ward around like this area, just because it gives Jax more room to kind of like play very aggressive or like kind of. Yeah, it just giving vision to your top laner, especially someone that splits, gives them the ability to play a lot more aggressive as they can, because they'll have vision. You don't have to hover them, but you could also, or hovering them is fine rather. Putting down wards for them is also like something that helps your win condition win more. Yeah.
That's a very deep ward. That's something I don't think about. Normally where I would go is like just past the blue buff, like between blue and wolves.
Yeah. That's fine too. Yeah.
But you're doing like almost near the wall to their nexus, right?
Yeah. The intersection is also fine too, but
okay.
Yeah. I'm guessing you're walking up to ward for him, but
I think I'm walking up to ward for Herald. It's like getting wards around here, yeah.
Okay.
Now I see the collapse on him, and I'm just like, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of his bad.
Who's going for it? I'm not so sure about that, but
yeah, this is a pretty dicey call because Jax is dead. Yeah, good hover. I would just walk away here. Like, this is a really. Oh, this is so risky. I would just spam ping my Okay, good ward. Just walk away. Nice buffer on the Q. Yeah, that's not your fault. That's just a bad call, I think. Oh god, he's going in. Oh god.
Yeah, I get this problem a lot where I'm just like, please don't.
Yeah, like I think you probably should have pinged your team off there because you know that Jax died and there's gonna be like 4. So now you're in just like this awkward spot of you can't really do anything. Okay, so here let's pause it. So here, what are you thinking after Fizz and Viego died?
I'm thinking, what boots do I get?
Okay, yeah, I think you think a little too long for what kind of
boots
you
get. But... I'm kind of like, well, I remember I'm looking at my wards. Dragon is coming up. I'm gonna recall to get more wards, and I'm gonna need to buy boots, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You definitely want to recall immediately here because you don't have wards. So like right now you're kind of doing nothing as you're like standing around because you basically saw their entire team on Herald's side, right? And you can assume that they probably are gonna back because they got gold before this dragon. This dragon's coming up in a minute. So here I would, once I saw Viego and Fizz die, I would immediately recall so I could refresh my wards and then try to get wards in before they can like get back on the map. But like right now, like you walking around doesn't really do anything, especially because you have no wards. Like I would say like maybe if you had wards, like you could drop it at the entrance of their jungle just so you can use that to go deep into your kind of like ward the entrance of your jungle. But yeah, right now you're not really doing anything proactive.
Yep. I think I recall very quickly here, actually.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna like...
A lot of support players kind of... Oh, you push into wave and then recall. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I saw I still had Targon stacks. Okay. Targon, wow, that's outdated.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm picking Jax to go top because he has TP. and he's not really doing that.
Ooh, you should take the Hex Gate here.
Yeah, I keep forgetting about that. That's just something I haven't. Like I've been playing a lot in the past, and that was added somewhat new, but I'm just like, no. And yeah, I do the surrender vote thing where I just drag it off
Move
my
it out.
screen.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I never surrender votes. It's like.
Ooh, yeah. Here, like, if you took the Hex Gates from both sides, you could probably win this without Viego dying.
Yeah.
Rough. Yeah, your team, oh my God, Jax is TPing now? What?
Yeah, I remember it just TPs and doesn't do anything.
Yeah, like here I would walk with Jax and like try to ward, because you have 4 wards. Like, you have 4 wards. Gragas is dead. Yeah, like you shouldn't. You're low, but like if you're gonna recall, at least like throw down wards at like in their side of the jungle. You know, like. Oh, this is so chaotic. This is such a mess.
I learned about Hex Gates.
Yeah. Yeah, at this point you're Gwen is top. Okay, nice hook. Good ult on the Kaisa. That was nuts. Okay, nice.
I think I did that engage solely because I saw Gwen top.
Yeah. That's a good. It's a little sus though if Gwen has TP. I don't know if she's running it or like I didn't see her use it, but
she has TP. Yeah, she has TP ignite. I think. Also, I'm thinking Baron here. Do you think that's a good call?
I think Baron here is a good call, but your team is not going to Baron. So I would use this time to ward around Baron. Like everyone is dead. You see Gwen. Yeah, you see Gwen top. You see Zed mid. Kaisa just recalled bot. So you can ward the jungle here. If I were you, I would have put. Oh, okay. Pause.
Yep.
This ward spread is not good. The vision that you're covering overlaps really hard. So the ward on the other side of the wall, that one is you put that down to see if they enter the river, right? And then the ward in the middle, I think it's in pixel, is useless because you know that they entered through the river or they're like on that side. Like you either want the pixel or the outer. Honestly, the outer wall one is probably the one that you want, but warding pixel here is pretty useless because you don't really need to know.
Right, I see your point. Actually, I think what I was doing here is I was trying to get deep wards, but it's been a while and I don't see where anyone is. So I do that one deep ward, and then I'm just trying to like drop a ward on Baron and recall for more wards. Right, so I'm just thinking I don't want to go deep now because I don't see where anyone is. So I'll just drop one ward here and I'm gonna recall.
Right.
I'm thinking, well, I'm recalling, might as well use my last ward. I don't know if that's correct, but
I think it's fine thinking about like, oh, like I'm gonna recall anyway, so I just want to throw down all my words. But I think the placement of your words are not good. So like,
it's actually that's actually something I learned from watching you.
Yeah, like
I used to never do that, but now I noticed that you tend to do it while recalling. You just drop wards, and I'm like, oh my god, that makes so much sense.
It's fine to do it. It's just like the word spread at Baron just isn't covering a lot. You could go deep into the wall or the bush next to blue because you know that Kai'Sa's bot. Zed was mid, Gwen is top. It's pretty deep, but you can take the Hex Gate out. But even then, like you'll have a timing for it. And because you know that there was a big fight at Dragon and everyone kind of died, you can find your way into it. And then, so that way, once you have deep wards, you'll know if the enemy entered the river. So you don't need a ward on Baron. Does that make sense? Like the ward on Baron it's not as useful as you think. Because...
Yeah, I see what you mean. Because I will see them if they're doing it.
Yeah, like you'll see you'll see that they're going to be entering the river area, so then you'll know like, oh, okay, well, you don't need to know if they're gonna jump directly on Baron, because if they do, like you're gonna try to be like going to see if Baron is being taken or not. So like you don't need that ward on Baron or on Pixel because you'll just know that they're in around the river. Yeah.
Yeah, I see your point. And that's really good info. I've actually started taking notes.
Yeah.
Because I feel this is very useful. And especially what I need to learn is to kind of consider where the enemy is if I see them on the map, because they just disappeared from the map. So I'm like, I can't see them. I don't know if this is safe. But you are right that like Kaisa was bot, Gwen was top, so I know I'm somewhat safe.
Like you'll be completely safe, and so you can just like walk in fearlessly. Also, like another thing I think that's really important to understand is that you don't need vision directly on something to know where the enemy is around. You can deduce like where the enemy is around without having the ward directly on the place, on the area. So that's also like a very important support vision concept to understand, because that way you can spread out your vision a lot more rather than having it all clumped up in that small little area in the river.
Okay.
Yeah.
Question about my build.
Yeah.
Right. So what do I do normally as my second item? I generally go for Knight's Vow. Especially if they have like assassins or something that can kill my AD. Otherwise, I maybe go for Zeke's if I want a little bit more damage, but that's just something I started building recently. I didn't really get too much of a feel for it. And then most likely go like Thornmail if I need healing reduction. I've been trying to get maybe what's it called? The chem tank thing?
Yeah.
The speed boost. If I need an engage, maybe Deadman's Play, but that's something I don't think I've built on Naughty.
I think
I've been thinking about that.
Yeah, so second item really just depends on like how the game is going. Generally, like I like building Knight's Vow if someone on my team is very, very strong. I don't think you should always default to Knight's Vow just because like, oh, if my AD carry is like useless, then like why would I want him to be up more? Like if we're lacking damage, I would go Zeke's. And then like if I need MR, I would probably go like, I think Abyssal Mask is a really good item if like they have double AP and then you have an AP. I think here it would probably be fine as well, but it just really depends on like
our Fizz was quite fed.
Yeah, so if Fizz is fed, then I think Abyssal Mask is good because they also have Gwen and Lux. So that'd be like a really, really nice. It gives you, I believe it gives you CDR, right? Like it gives you CDR, it gives you like all the stats that you would want, and it's like pretty cheap. So
what about Anathemas? When do you buy that?
Anathemas is good. I like building Anathemas if there's someone that's really fed on the enemy team, and that's just kind of like shredding me. So like,
but is it for you to survive longer, or is it more for? I was thinking like I was against a Garen, and I'm thinking we need to take Garen down. I need it for the tenacity reduction.
That's fine too. Right? No, it's like a two-way thing. I think it's more valuable when like you're getting shredded by whoever you're putting the anathemas to. But yeah, like I said, it just really depends. I think anathemas is the most value in, let's say like you're playing against a team comp with 4 auto-based champions and you build like plated steel caps and then lock it and then like an armor item, and then like third you put anathemas on for the one person that's not AD, and so like you're covering basically like you're covering
I see what you mean.
Yeah, you're covering like the AD portion with your tank with your armor item, and then the anathemas is helping you against the armor people because it's just health, and then you're covering the MR portion with just the anathemas active.
It's actually such a cool idea.
Yeah,
I really like that. I never thought about that.
Yeah, like I said, it all just really depends. That's like one instance of anathemas, but you could definitely use it like in other ways.
How do you decide between Locket and Even Shroud?
I like going Locket if there's a lot of burst, or if I'm playing against a Karthus. Locketing a Karthus ult is just so free. It's just so much value. I go Even Shroud if the enemy team has a lot of CC, because the way Even Shroud works is that if you CC the enemy, or if the enemy CCs you, it applies the increased damage intake. Yeah, it just depends on if the enemy has a lot of CC.
I feel like you should highlight this for YouTube, because like this is a very good info in terms of item builds, or just do a video on item builds.
Yeah, no, I've been getting asked to do like item build stuff, but it's like hard to it's hard because it's all situational, right? And then like I would need like different examples, and it's like getting all the clips is just like hard. But no, I definitely thought about it being a potential video.
Okay. Yeah, so here I'm like, what do I buy? What do I buy? Ruby Crystal, let's go.
Like here, I think, oh yeah, you'd probably want MR here. I'd probably go Fawn or... No, I definitely go Abyssal Mask here. It's definitely an Abyssal Mask send for sure. Kais is going
What
AP
do you
as
think
well.
about... I think I end up going for Night's Vow because I just want to protect MF from Zed. But I don't know if he's fed or anything. I'm just kind of used to... I don't really look at how fed the enemy is. I'm more like looking at their team comp, and I'm thinking, well, Zed is an assassin. Might as well get it.
Well, yeah, it's all situational. So if Zed is fed, and your MF is really strong, then I would get it. But or even if it doesn't even have to be your AD carry, like it can be your jungler or like your mid laner if they're really strong, and it's like whatever they need, I would build it. But yeah, you definitely want to keep in mind like if the enemy is fed or not when you are building. Or if their assassins are fed and your carries are fed for Night's Vow.
Here again, I'm seeing Gwen bot and I'm pinging Baron. I'm like, we should start this. I know she has TP, but I'm kind of just like, I want to force a fight. Do you think that's okay or not?
I don't think you should force a fight, but
I'm thinking it's one way to stop her split push, right? If we force a Baron.
Yeah, I mean, does Jax have TP? Like Fizz is mid. Okay, honestly, I think this is fine. I think this call is fine. Like, you see Fizz, everyone is mid, so you start the Baron. And then you also have good vision. Really quick, do you know that Baron gives a debuff depending on who's tanking the Baron?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of know the idea.
Yeah, so like, I think there you could have tanked the Baron so your team can take it faster. Because whoever's taking Baron does, I believe it's half. It's your damage is reduced for Baron for whoever's taking it. So if you're tanking it, you could take it a lot faster. And I think this window of taking Baron is pretty tight because you know that the enemy team is rotating. So I think you should have probably tanked Baron there so you could have done it faster. But honestly, it doesn't matter since you guys got it in.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
Yeah,
that's something I should keep in mind for sure. Generally, I do try to do that, but I feel I'm like very squishy as a support, and Baron just chunks me a lot. So here, I'm not sure if I should recall. I see everybody's dead, and I'm thinking maybe we can like take a turret.
Yes.
And then recall.
Yes. So
but everybody else just left, and I'm like,
Who else is alive? There's one more person alive, I think.
It's Gragas.
Gragas. I don't know if he ran away, but basically, when you get an ace, you should pretty much never recall because it's just like wasted. Here, I would be using my wards to ward really deep. Like you have the opportunity because you know everyone is dead. Like it's such a waste of an opportunity to not put down wards here in their whatever side jungle that you think you're going to siege in. Like putting a ward in the mid lane closest to their base is like really, really valuable information because you could see them rotating, or like putting wards in this area where you're fighting is really, really useful since you know you're going to siege there soon. So, oh wait, you guys are just cleaning them up.
Yeah, also because of because we're like, I'm gonna recall anyway.
Yeah. Like it's the same idea. It's like, oh, I'm gonna be recalling anyways. I want to put down the wards, and then also now that have you watched my video for the my late game macro video?
I watched it, but I watched it after like it was very late. I'm not sure if I picked up everything.
Oh, okay. So
I was watching like a lot of videos in a row.
Yeah, that's fine. But pretty much like now after you get Baron, you're going to start sieging. Your wards change a lot based on like if you're sieging or defending. When you were recalling without putting your wards deep in their jungle, like now you have to kind of be careful as you walk into their jungle right after the reset because you don't know where they are, as opposed to you having all of their jungle warded and you don't have to waste a shallow ward walking in. Like it's just like a world of a difference for being able to siege.
Yeah, I see exactly what you mean. Would you say I also need to ward here? Right, I'm thinking Dragon is coming up. I want to recall early, so I'm there in time. But maybe I should ward around first before recalling here.
Ward around before recalling? Yeah, like no, you definitely should. No, yeah, it's the same concept. It's the same concept as recalling. It's like, oh, you have the forward position already. Like you don't get a lot of opportunities to be in the enemy jungle for free, you know? Like it only happens after like a big fight or like you know exactly where the enemy position is, which is like not very common. So when you do have an opportunity, it's like you definitely want to throw down the wards.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's a terrible TP by Jax, by the way.
Well, he's walking back now.
Yeah, but he should just be splitting top, and then like if there's a fight at Dragon. Okay, so here, pause it. So here, as you're taking Dragon, I would ward Pixel Bush. So the one Gragas is walking into, or the wall right behind the pit, just because you can see if the enemy jungler is trying to steal it. Like there's no reason to not ward it, especially.
I think I was mostly thinking after we take the dragon, we're just gonna go siege, and I want to save the wards for that.
Yeah,
but maybe not.
It's honestly, like you know that they're coming through the jungle because you saw them enter with your wards. So I think it's worth just to secure the dragon, because it's like you're pretty much covering all bases of a potential steal, and it's like that potential steal can drag the game on, as opposed to just like, oh, all it takes is one ward to really secure. Like Gragas wasn't in position this time, but like in the future, I think it's always worth. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that was Soul. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, you pretty much just win the game. So you might as well just secure it with one ward. Okay, so now what are you thinking at this point of the game?
Push and finish.
Yeah.
Like go to a different lane than where their inhibitor is destroyed.
Yes. Okay.
But also, I don't know. I've noticed sometimes people in high elo do something that I don't expect, which is they just go to lane where the inhib is destroyed because they know they can end. Right? I always go to, here I would probably go mid or even top because there's like a free turret there.
Yeah.
And I'm never sure when I can just end. It just ults me, which was weird.
I think going mid or top here is fine. So, yeah. And then you guys just win here, right? Or is there more?
I think so, yeah. I was just pinging MF to not back because like everybody's dead.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Yeah, that's the end of the video pretty much, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I think your laning phase is like really, really good. It's just like your mid late game, and then also you're getting ganked by the shopkeeper, so you're just like even more confused. But yeah, just be like really mindful of where you want to go after laning, and then make sure to look at your scoreboard to kind of guide you on that decision, and then also work on your wards as well as just keeping tabs of where the enemy is.
Right. Okay, that's a very good summary. I think that works out well.
Okay. Yeah. Did you have any questions for me? Any other questions?
I think no. I was preparing one question at the end, which was how would you summarize this, but you just already did it. So
okay. Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, that's great. And thank you very much. That was I think it was a very good session.